SASA! Welcome, SASANs, to this week's episode of SASANs and Dragons, our homebrew house rule infested game of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. I am Magnus Beasticus, your dungeon master for the evening, and just so we have as little talking from our players as possible, let's go ahead and roll those character intros.
I'm Thunky Beerbot, and don't let my facial hair fool you. I am a female mountain dwarf druid. I come from a long line of beer brewers, hence the name Beerbot. I had a mostly normal upbringing in the mountains of northern Melibrius, and I've always had an affinity towards animals, not so much the ruling races. I have many fond childhood memories of wandering the local forests in search of new furry friends. Eventually, on the advice of my parents, I enrolled in druidic studies and began honing my spellcasting abilities. My instructor, Elder Dalbrook, was a highly logical man and taught me my most important life lesson, that even though nature is beautiful, it cannot exist without chaos. There isn't a day that goes by that I do not repeat that message to myself. I understand that not all beasts can be tamed, and sometimes I will have to battle one. I don't like to admit it, but this happens more often with my new family, Oren's Obliterate. But I will stop at nothing to ensure their safety, and I may cause some chaos in the process.
If you were to gaze upon the mysterious property of Orenbelle's finest artificer, you would find a very large mansion met by a garden with superbly sculpted shrubbery. At any given time, there is but only one worker which may be found on these grounds. And why, that is me, Crow. I am one of Master Cumentus's many creations. The majority of my being is made up of organic, plant-like material. The rest is mechanical. There are many duties for which I was created for, some of which include cooking, cleaning, obtaining materials and ingredients, assisting with laboratory duties, removing trespassers from the property, acting as the master's personal bodyguard when in town, and closest friend, always. These may be some of my regular duties, though Master Cumentus mentioned that I am fully loaded with great purpose and grand potential. I have yet to discover the meaning behind those words. Maybe he was referencing the inaccessible areas of my internal systems. Or maybe he was just trying to make me feel better about my self-realized lack of greater purpose in this world. Or maybe it is a metaphor for the many journeys he planned for us. Either way, I seek to discover the true potential of my being.
Hello, I am Varkir Invictari. I am an Aasimar of the clan Invictari at Barathor's Reach. To explain more about myself, I must first explain the world we live in, full of angels and monsters that toy with mortal lives like cheap coins. I sought out to rid us of the need to constantly appease these beings of considerable power. Even if all the world is my enemy, they will thank me when the work is done. For I believe in the strength of my fellow mortal. We have turned the tides of battle with nothing but one act that has spiraled out to a glory that is yet to be rivaled in this day and age. Kalinor, my right hand, my sword and shield. Altero, my left, my bow. All the others were dear to me, just as my mother and father. The angel that speaks to me in my dreams warns me of the dangers of what I do. But I know my path is virtuous, though I cannot say the same for the company I now find myself with. They may represent the truest of dangers, or the brightest of futures. Time will tell.
My name is Herchek Bane. I am from the clan The Frenzied Bear, whose home is at the northeastern part of the Shattered Peaks. Growing up, I was split between two tribes, fighting over the land we both tried to call our own. My tribe's battle mentality was of pure carnage during warring, praising an unknown entity that I personally detested. My father, Urkhelm Bane, was fourth in line to be chieftain, known in the tribe to be a fierce warrior on the battlefield, and to have saved many lives in combat over the ages. He has but one mighty secret, which is where I come in. Born from a forbidden love with a mighty warrior woman from the clan the Roaring Tempest, my tribe's rivals. My mother, Rakir Stormwill, the Roaring Tempest. She was a brutal warrior on the battlefield and a kind priestess to those in need. Her deity, Regentia, as a weapon as well as her shield, is the goddess I now follow. After years of secrecy, I could no longer hold back my rage. During a battle with a fellow clansman, I unleashed my storm-bound fury. Luckily, through the deeds of my father and the tribe, I was not sentenced to death on the spot. I was, though, cast out from my clan, exiled, never to return or show my face around them. My title in the clan removed from me. One day I will return to my homeland and take over my clan to show them that there can be peace amongst all tribes. Unity is what I seek for the Goliath race, and I will achieve that goal, even if it takes my life.
When last we left our heroes of Oren's Obliterate, they had made their way into the floating forest. A forest perpetually veiled in the nodding fog, and host to denizens of the Underdark, creatures, both scowling and ripping and tearing their way across the terrain. They had encountered a caravan, a Denebron soldier caravan, on its way out of the floating forest, carrying, well, we'll find out this episode. Thanks to their and Quenzel's interference, they had dispatched nearly all of the host of the caravan, with the exception of one lone mage that is currently being held personed by Varkir. We pick up now 2 carts turned over. One massive creature having run away thanks to Varkir's Turn Undead spell. Thank you, Herchek. So, you have this mage in your grasp now. The only hint that you can tell what's going on in his mind is his wide open eyes darting back and forth. Homebrew rule that your eyes can move when you're in full person. So he's just looking at all of you, analyzing your face. What are you going to do with him? He doesn't know. And you hear the skittering of the creatures on the outside perimeter of the nodding fog, the area of safety that you guys currently find yourself in. Skittering, the gnashing of teeth. You can sometimes even see this or hear the singeing of flesh as a gnarled face tries to press itself into the light that you guys are inside of right now. And the light burns the face away, and it leaves back into the safety of the fog. This will happen periodically throughout your stay here in the highway into the floating forest. So, what do you do?
Well, I would like to roll a perception check.
Okay, what are you looking for?
I'm checking our surroundings, making sure the carts, which cart's good to go, which one's not.
Okay.
Just kind of guarding the perims. Just kind of guarding the perims. Hey, 13.
13, that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Dick.
There's only one cart that still has all of its structure intact and is still good to go. It was the last cart in the caravan. The second cart, the one that you guys are now all huddled around, where the mage was trying to hide from you all, is overturned, and a portion of the locking mechanism is broken open, and the door is sort of partially ajar, revealing what look to be large, almost like foot in diameter nuts. Imagine the Deku seeds.
I'm gonna yell out, "Hey, Crow! Check out those other carts. See what they were hauling. Maybe we find some."
You're gonna look over at Crow, and he's on the ground, kind of like rolling around aimlessly, like clutching the ground, and then he looks over at you barely. His eyes are also darting around, and he's like, "Help me! Help!"
Crow, get off! You're embarrassing yourself, Crow.
I'm gonna
Get off the
run
ground.
over to Crow and cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay, go ahead and roll to see how much he gets back. Carnigal sort of, with a almost off-putting mastery of the mount that he's now on. Carnigal slowly walks up to the rest of the group by the mage, and he looks down at Crow and he says, this is your first time encountering Masters of Shadow, I see. It would behoove you, Crow, as being one of the shadows yourself, to learn a bit about those tactics and spells and the shadow element itself.
We'll lean out from a wagon. Yeah, you don't want to learn from him, Ferret Master. And then I'm gonna go back to what I was doing.
I don't know what I did to earn such disrespect. I solved every single puzzle that came our way the last time we ventured. You don't rely on his mind. It's broken.
Well, first off, thank you. I feel much better now. You're absolutely right. I should probably figure this thing out. I'm going to be sneaky.
Why are you looking at me?
I imagine that. Well, I'm talking to you.
Oh.
Didn't you just heal me? What are you up
Yeah,
to?
I thought you were talking. It sounded like you were responding to somebody else.
I'm assuming that you're like right next to.
Oh, I see. Okay.
One person's a concentration spell, so you have to concentrate on that, I guess.
You're still holding it?
Didn't say I was still holding it?
I thought he was tied up.
Yeah.
Who's going to
You
interrogate?
said hold person.
Yeah, he's still in the middle of being held person. Nobody has tied him up.
Yeah, yes, I guess I'm still just. Somebody
I'll-
tie him up, please.
I will tie him up.
So we're gonna interrogate him here?
Wrist?
As
no.
you start to
No.
put the rope around him,
No, no.
the mage jumps up and tries to run
I'm going
away.
to chase him.
Okay, he gets an attack of opportunity from pretty much every single one of you guys, should you choose, but
Can
he's not doing too much.
Yeah, I'll cast.
I'm going to unarmed strike his
Cloudtail.
face.
Oh,
Okay, go for it.
Mm,
Whatever knocks him out. If he gets past me,
you want to do
Who are you people?
stunning
Can I
damage
cast
instead of killing damage?
Yeah.
It's a punch.
Yeah, but then still kill somebody. Though.
What did you roll?
12.
Misses. What? You're
Yeah.
casting Entangle? Okay.
yeah.
I get
Gives
two
me
attacks.
good strength.
Second.
He trips over the first vine that comes out of Entangle and sort of like is caressed by a bed of vines that come out and wrap around him. He says, "Curse you all! Who are you? Who are you working for?"
Who are you
I
working
slap
for?
him
Oh!
with the back of my hand.
we're Oren's Obliterate, and I slap him.
Yeah! Oren's Obliterate, I've heard of you all.
Where?
From the people in town. They
Slap him
can't
again.
get... Yeah! He just sort of like does this, well, now I'm not talking.
More answers. Slap him.
Nope.
I
Roll
s-
damage. With that emotion, that had some strength in it.
Oh,
adding strength.
Yeah.
6.
Okay.
I'm going to reach. I'm going to
You
grab his.
you hear the snap of his neck.
Yep.
What? He doesn't die, but he's like, it definitely was enough force to like jolt his neck and give him some whiplash.
I'm going to
And
bring
there's this giant red
I stop.
hand mark on his face, and you start to see like purple well up.
My bad.
I'm gonna grab his head and bring it like closer to my face. Say, tell us. Totally grab it. Tell us who you are working with.
Tell us who you're working with. Why don't you ask that guy over there? Roll a wisdom saving throw.
No! I refuse! 10!
Your vision starts to cloud over and starts to turn red as you're used to with the rage, but instead of associating your rage with the enemy in front of you, you associate the rage with your friends. And I want you to roll a d4.
Can I try and slap him?
Yeah, you can. As soon as
try to slap him.
Wait, her check?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait, do I roll something?
Yeah. What'd you roll?
I rolled a 3.
Thunky. Her check gets up, and you feel this aggressive energy just press down on your soul. And her check raises his arm with the Starlight Conqueror, and Crow just jumps up and slaps him, and your sense comes to you once again. And the mage says, worth a try.
He just
come on,
he put me under something.
Stay around.
I cover his mouth with my hand.
But we need answers.
I will release it. He put me under something. Thank you for slapping me, Crow.
Yeah, anytime.
I remember that.
Where were we? You want to get slapped again? Tell us who you're working for.
Alright, I release it a little bit.
Are you trying to persuade or intimidate?
What am I better at?
I would say this is going to have to be intimidation.
If you intimidate, I will help.
Yeah, I'll say you can roll an intimidation check at advantage. Thanks to her check.
I'm proficient in intimidation.
I'm also gonna like with both hands grab his
Generals.
That would get him talking real quick.
No, like his abdomen on the sides, and like squeeze hard. It's a non-vital
She's like
area. I'm trying to inflict pain like it's into his rib cage.
Okay.
To get him to talk.
Okay, roll a I can't think. Intimidation check at advantage. And we shall see how this turns out.
18.
18. Okay, you see this sort of like his eyebrows furrow in this sort of like this pain, and he looks into your eyes, and you can see this sort of like he's trying to work out what exactly you are.
I'm trying to give him the look that what the fuck is that?
Samuel Jackson and Black Snake Moan.
Nicolas Cage in
Face Off?
not Face Off.
In the mirror?
Okay, well, I mean, if you say Face Off, just every movie
Face Off.
Nicolas Cage is in, he's got a small range.
Ghost
Rider. Yeah.
Non-CG or CG?
Non-CG.
Look it up.
That's a good one.
You just put a whoop.
Are you removing his?
I'm it's like slightly off his mouth. As soon as someone gives me the go ahead, I'm just gonna
intensifying with the glare of my eyes.
Remove your hands. Don't talk.
I slowly remove them.
I don't. You don't remove your hand from his face?
But like my hands are still there.
Slightly. Okay. You feel
Sometimes I gotta say
the
that.
warm breath press against the palm of your hand, her check, and some moisture forms as well as he talks.
He doesn't know where my hands have been.
Do you not recognize the Denebron army?
I can say
The
I
copper to your silver?
Oh yes. Yeah. I hate you guys. You attacked us.
Why are you in the
It seems
forest?
you attacked us unprovoked. We are emissaries of Bresh now.
Oh, you're my
Emissaries, my fanny! And
Okay,
Quenzel
we can say
finally
that.
comes in We know what you've been doing to this forest that belongs to no man, no country, no kingdom.
That's right.
We are emissaries. What?
Well, you know where I'm from now.
What brings you here? What was that creature?
I don't know what the creature was for. I didn't even know what was in that cage. It's above my pay grade. But what we were... You what?
Are you doing
What is your pay grade? And I feel for gold sacks in his pockets.
it? Yeah. I close my hand around his
Not now.
again. Is there anything we could get? Does anybody have anything that could make him tell the truth? Force it out of him.
He seems to be truthful for now.
You just talking. Keep talking.
I slightly remove my hand.
All that I can tell you is we're here to gather helium and the Belbenus sacks. For what purpose, I don't know. They don't tell me. But pick up one of those containers. And he motions over to the open cart, the open carriage with the sort of the large deku seeds falling out. And they're falling slower
I'm
than
gonna
you
look
would
at
think.
Yeah. Vakir.
Yeah, right
Yeah,
there.
right over there, like, look at it.
Vakir, what is it?
It's a lot of nuts.
As you sort of like poke the
nuts.
collection of nuts inside it, shifts them and they start to spill out, but they spill out slowly.
It's a big
And like one almost keeps its level as it falls, and it slowly drifts towards the ground.
They're extremely light nuts, I guess.
Can I
So,
pick one up and investigate it?
Yeah.
To see if it's a Billowing's tree seed.
It's very, very light. Go ahead and roll a nature check. And it's like you move your hand from the bottom of it and it keeps its almost like buoyancy in the air.
Got a
boy.
25.
Did you really get it?
Yes.
This nut casing is not actually native to this forest. You've never seen a Belbenus tree before, but knowing what you know about nature and how seeds grow, and just based off of what the Belbenus tree looks like and what it produces, this is certainly not a seed. It seems to be more of a container for the helium.
Why are you after this helium?
I just told you, they don't tell me.
Who do you work for? Who is your commanding officer?
Roll an intimidation check.
A lot.
What is a lot? You have no
22.
bonuses. 22? Oh,
What do you mean I have
good,
no
good.
bonuses?
Do you add strength to your intimidation?
I had my proficiency, which is my intimidation.
You can afford to add your strength as a
This is
Goliath barbarian.
It's the same. 5 and 5.
And my dexterity.
Well, I'm saying, are you proficient in intimidation?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. It says +5.
So it would be +5 plus 3. So it'd be +8 to your intimidation.
Then it should say +8 there.
So what I'm saying is, as a homebrew rule, you can use your strength instead of your charisma. It's +5 because you're only considering your strength. Why is it +5? That's weird. But yeah, what I'm saying is you can go ahead and do +8. So it's just always add your strength and your proficiency.
25.
25. He goes, Fabian Wild. I never liked working under that man anyway. Too ruthless even for me.
What was it again?
Fabian Wild.
Can I take 2 of these like helium sacks and just put them in my bag?
Bag holder? Yeah.
It's gonna float away. When did you guys take over Bresh?
He says, I think that's the end of my involvement with you all.
I crush his. Oh, I don't.
And everybody make a dexterity saving throw. As his eyes start to flare up and light starts to shine out of his mouth as a smile creeps across his face, and you see this almost bizarre-looking jack-o'-lantern visage come out of his human flesh.
17.
13.
And if at all possible, as is going on, I want to whip his body away from him.
As his body starts to shine, Spectromir grabs Quenzel and leaps away. What did you roll, Crow?
17.
What did you roll? 7. What did you roll?
13.
17.
Okay, so Thunky and Varkir and Carnigal take the brunt of
This is like a grenade.
25 points of fire damage. You take the full force of 25 points of fire damage. Everybody else takes half at 12. Spectromir and Spectromir was... You take what? Oh, 0. Nice. And following the lead of Spectromir and Quenzel, Crow jumps back, uses his scythe just... Huh? B twists out of the explosive range, and what all that is left is this charring cinder of a radius consuming the cart that's now aflame, and you start to see you start to hear like as some of the nuts are losing their
allies in that area.
Allies?
Yeah.
Oh, Carnigal also takes 25 points of damage, as well as his Aussian Hound, as he sort of like rears it up to take the bulk of it, but is not quick enough to move out of the way.
So things are like, I hear. I'm running towards a cart to grab a lantern and fucking going.
Okay, you're grabbing the sort of like the guiding light.
Yeah, the light
which
source
is
from the
okay.
cart.
Where are you going?
Away from the carts.
Okay, you
In any
run
direction.
and you start to see in front of you at a 15-foot radius, just the clouds of the nodding fog of the floating forest get pushed out and pushed out and pushed out, as behind you is closed off as you're running into
Not that far.
You just said you're running in a direction.
I'm
Everybody else.
I'm running
Let's
30
let's-
feet away, to be specific.
Okay, that's still outside of the range of the safety area that you were at. You still have the guiding light, which provides an area of safety, but you can see animals sort of like.
If I saw that happening, I would like grab anybody not paying attention
And you-
run in that direction.
You noticed that the was sort of like the activating circumstance to send her chick running away.
I just yell
Those
like,
of you-
on me! I have light!
Those of you who are still around, wait just a second longer than her check did, and you just hear the with no reaction, no aggressive reaction tied to the noise. You take a look into the cart, and the shells are literally just burned enough to reveal some of the inside that's letting a lot of the helium seep out. And her check is...
You just hear from the
see-
fog, it's gonna blow!
Wait, was there not just an explosion? Like,
There was an explosion in which Thunky and Varkir and Carnigal sort of have their armor and leather is sort of like flames are dancing off and slowly being just like
I get it.
lessening.
Is there any like fire? Towards
No,
the
just
helium?
cinders left. And the skeleton of the
Oh,
mage.
okay.
What's going on? You're all gonna die!
No, get back here.
Carnigal like pats himself off and just says like, it seems as soon as he knew he gave enough information to die in the hands of Denebron, he decided to kill himself for us.
I'm walking back.
This is something we should keep in mind for future engagements if we want to question any of their forces. Denebron is known to be historically quite ruthless a city of brigands and outlaws. It'd be reasonable to assume that their legion follows similar principles.
And where is Denebron located? I've never been there.
It's the southernmost major city
Get over here, Jack.
on
All right.
Melibrius.
Come on.
I'm walking up. Anything that stops me, I kill it.
And Spectromere walks back in her sleek black armor. You do notice that now that you have a full sort of view of her face, half of her helmet is almost, it looks destroyed. You can see her light purple orcish skin underneath. She has the large muscular form, but still sort of lithe for a half-orc.
Half?
Yeah, she's a half-orc. And you can see her face, and her check. Roll an intelligence check.
Okay. We'll go with the Damascus. This one. Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. 5.
Ha!
Why would you give me that?
It seems oddly familiar, but you can't quite place where you've seen her face before.
I know her from before.
Yes, and
Spectromere.
she just lightly sets Quenzel down, and Quenzel sort of like brushes him off and thanks Spectromere. All of you sort of collect once again.
I would like to embrace Spectromere as a warrior.
How does that?
Like, just by the grasping of the forearms.
Whereas you notice that there was hesitation before in her sort of like pleasantry interactions with you, there's no hesitation. She grips a hefty grip, a comparable grip to yours, and does this nod, and in her revealed right eye, sort of like looks at you with a look of knowing.
Good to see you again, Spectromere.
And she still doesn't talk. Just nods.
All right.
Hello, Spectromere. I'm Crow.
This is Grow.
Thanks for saving us.
She looks at you and doesn't quite give the same level of engagement that she does Herchek, Thunky, and Clark here.
I mean, that's okay. I'm just gonna hold my hand up. Like this.
Quetzal.
Why did you guys leave me there at Oladon's place? It was such a weird little furry man. He left something for you all back at Norhellis's eye, but where'd you go? Well, I thought we had a deal. You just ran off. How did you even leave? I was the only way we got there. Did you climb down?
We flew.
Hurt an Aarakocra's feelings, why don't you?
We flew. That's what we did. And, you know.
I don't even remember the last time we were with Quetzal.
Quenzel, we thought it would be best if we left you behind. It was too dangerous, okay? I'm sorry.
You can't leave a bird flapping like that.
We didn't want to endanger you. I mean, you're too special.
Well, we need you more than ever.
It's good to hear. We could use your help as well.
Grow will fill you in on the details. I'm watching the perimeter.
Pleasure to meet you too.
I'm watching the perimeter.
You see one sort of like spiked appendage try and enter, stab into the rocks of the floating forest inside of the barrier that you guys are in as it starts to singe and gets pulled back again.
Let us leave. Can we leave?
Yeah, can I make a suggestion? Can we get a cart and go? We talk and move.
You also start to hear.
Can we talk and move?
Quenzel, where is Norhellis's eye?
Oh, things don't look good here.
Where is Norhellis's eye?
Keep hold of that lantern and let's go. Follow me.
There's no cart?
There is a cart. You do have a cart, and then Carnival has the only Ossian hound. Are you bringing the cart?
Let's just go. I feel like it's going to take too much time.
Let's try and bring a cart.
Strap it up. Carnival, get your beast over here.
Okay, Carnival goes over. Who's handling the strapping?
Wait, how far away does that
I'm
sound?
watching the perimeter.
How far away does that...
Perception check.
I'd yell out, Spectrum here, watch the other side.
Go ahead. Take it. Natural.
20? About 30 seconds away. And it's...
Park the cart. Let's go.
Park it. Car go. Park it. Let's go. We're moving. Somebody grab the lanterns. I grabbed one. I have one. I'll be up front.
Is there another one?
I'll grab another one.
There are... There's only one loose lantern that he's holding right now. The other lanterns would have to be sort of like disconnected from the carts.
I'm going to use my scythe and chop the whatever it's attached
Okay,
to.
just go ahead and roll damage. It's an immobile object.
12.
12. Just takes 2 swipes. About 12 seconds in, it severs. You grab it and you wait for the rest of the group. Carnigal is waiting at the perimeter on the opposite side of where the sound of the large footfalls are coming from.
I'm right next to him.
Quenzel's leading the way.
No,
I'll be in the back.
I didn't have time to break them.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like, I'll be, like our light spheres are intersecting a little bit, so hopefully we're covering everybody.
Spectromere holds out one hand, starts to collect sort of like dancing kaleidoscopic light that you're used to seeing from her, and she holds one arm out to Quenzel, and Quenzel just sort of like hops on her shoulders, and she starts to run into the light while displacing the fog around her with light of her own. It doesn't have the same sort of essence as the guiding lights that you feel. It seems to just exist to press the fog away. And she starts to go at like a medium pace.
I'm sprinting after her. Let's go!
Carnigal follows. The cylinders coming away from the Ossian Hound's mouth flare up as the hips shoot some fire off of the joints and starts to run forward as well.
Yeah, I'm running as well in the back. Anybody that seems to be running slower than us, I'll just scoop them up.
Okay. One sort of toothy maw peers inside of Spectromere's light, and she just slashes it down, and it sort of like curls up and rolls away out of the light as she continues to press forward. Quenzel sort of like directing her on her shoulders. No, Spectromere, this way. No, take a left. Right at that creepy little plant there.
If I see everybody keeping up, I'd like to have my scythe out too. Ready to do the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna sheathe the conqueror and pull out the good old red tempest.
Red Tempest?
Chop.
Okay. You guys are sort of pressing forward. Quenzel says, to be a little while before we get there. Keep your wits about you. Is there anything you guys do?
Outrun whatever was running towards us.
The footfalls slowly die out. And then you hear this, like, crash of what sounds to be like the only material that was around that it could be is the carts.
So it's attacking the carts.
Potentially. It's
Not our concern.
your cart, sir.
Ready.
Sure, we shouldn't go back and investigate. Okay. Yeah, we're moving towards that.
Okay.
As we're running, Quetzal, how'd you get here? What are you even doing here?
Quenzel goes, shh, now's not the time for talking. You'll upset the creatures. And after he says that, you do hear this sort of like, you can hear creatures trailing behind you.
I turn to the sound and I just let loose a lightning pillar.
Okay, go ahead and roll to attack.
It's not good. I'm not aiming towards anything, just when I want to just...
Oh, you're not aiming towards anything?
Yeah, I'm just general direction. I'm just shooting a random pillar off.
Okay, go roll at disadvantage.
Oh. Okay. 9. Wait. 13.
A 13. This sort of like horned bipedal creature, looks almost like a bipedal goat, is you, as you turn around and look quickly to see what the sound was, it was crouching down on all fours, one hand in between its legs, just sort of like watching you all, waiting for you to progress, and you it just like you hit it dead on with a just sort of like second thought.
Just a swipe.
Yeah.
Swipe no scope.
Roll damage. It as soon as the first hint of pink lightning scratches against its skin, it releases both of its legs. The energy held within just jumps backwards, but you can see the sort of like electrical energy still dancing across its skin as it singed a lot of its fur. Quenzel goes, "Ooh, looks like you have some new toys. You will definitely be useful in the fight to come, should you?"
So
Just have to
should
help.
you.
Of course, I'm always useful, aren't I, Herchek? But he goes, "Well then, it seems like talking might be an option on this journey, though I still wouldn't recommend it."
Yeah, any significant noise that I hear in our vicinity, I'm just letting off pillars.
Okay. All right. About half an hour passes as you guys are pressing forward through the floating forest. You've lost sight of any of the guiding lights that sort of displayed paths through the floating forest initially. A few more minutes pass, and Quenzel Spectromere starts to slow her pace at Quenzel's demand, and Carnival slows down as well. And through the haze of the fog, where just naturally you can only see about 15 feet in front of you, you see one anchor embedded in the ground with a chain leading up into the fog, disappearing out of that 15-foot radius. And it's just slowly, the chain itself is moving back and forth ever so slowly. And Quenzel goes, "Well, welcome back to my humble abode. Hopefully you can stay a bit longer this time."
Hopefully it doesn't get destroyed like last time.
And he just jumps off of Spectromere and flies up. Spectromere jumps up, grabs the chain, throws herself up, throws herself up, throws herself up, and then you hear it stop as you press against wood above you.
Get your follow, I guess.
Well, what are we waiting for?
I'll go last.
I'm gonna climb up.
And Carnigal looks at the Aussian Hound and says, "Well, what am I going to do with you?" He gets off, ties it around the chain, and says, "Oh, this is the best I can do if you're not here when we get back."
How heavy is it?
The Aussian Hound?
Yeah.
Roll an investigation check.
A 4.
I mean, to you, it looks... come on. It's
I try to lift it.
light. You can't.
You're
You're confused because you should be able to lift this with one arm, but...
I tried
It's-
Carnival.
Was your intention to carry it up the chain? Yeah, looking at it's I mean, based off of that roll, it's just too confident. It doesn't work out.
Can I somehow cast spider climb on it?
What, can you polymorph it?
I don't think I can. Let me see. Do I still have it?
Guys, it's really not that big a deal. These
Yeah, I could
Do it.
polymorph it. I could turn your hound into a mouse and put it in my pocket.
I'd much rather it be in my pocket. Can we do that?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
See, Carnival wasn't a waste.
I'm gonna pet it.
Perfectly good
It's
hound.
polymorph.
And now that its mouth is revealed in its mouse form, it's just like biting all around wherever it can. Whereas, because normally what you saw it in is this sort of like copper chromish mask that covers the entirety of its face. And now that its teeth are revealed, it's just trying to like bite and experience everything it can with its mouth.
I'm just gonna be like, ah, and then like run away. It's up to him now.
Do you?
Put that mouse in his pocket.
You don't have the mouse in your hand anymore?
I would probably drop it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Carnival picks it up, just puts it in his own sort of pouch, and you hear that the light sounds coming from his pouch that are not from the mouse form of the Aussian Hound.
Bullied from by the parents. Being bullied by the
Oh
parents.
That's so sad.
And Carnival, you actually don't even see the chain move. You don't hear the chain clank. Carnival just up the chain.
Same.
Just grabs the chain.
Same.
I just ascend.
Roll a stealth check if you want to try.
Sure. $20. Not natural.
Yeah, you successfully. There's still some light clanking of change. You're like, but you're pretty proud that you're able to keep up with the spy master of Orenbelle. Donkey?
Oh. Fantastic.
At disadvantage, I would say,
Disadvantage.
because it's not your strong suit.
So stealth?
Yeah.
15.
By the way, it is her strong suit. She's got a +8 to stealth.
Everything is my strong suit.
What was your first roll then? But yeah, that's true.
What?
15.
+8, 21.
Is everything +8?
Somehow it gets.
I don't know why.
Proficient
The
in everything.
smallest,
It's
or
like
the
everything
least
is
amount
proficient.
is +6.
Sunky looks at how Crow is doing it and sees what's making the noise on the chain and just like, oh, okay, that's what it is. And just, she just like glides up. You don't, if you're looking from her back, you don't even see her arms move. It's just her body is straight and it goes all the way up.
It's like a fireman pole, but in reverse.
Exactly.
That's so weird.
All right, her check. Mark here.
You going up?
I'm just going regular,
It's about 80 to 100 feet in length of this chain going up, and you hear the shifting and creaking of wood, the muted shifting and creaking of wood. As it almost seems like this ship is in the middle of, it's just like floating in water almost. The Zeppelin balloon is fully filled and keeping this thing afloat. All of the masts are sort of rolled in. It's very quiet at this point. You do hear some of the natural sounds of the floating forest, still disconcerting sounds, but nothing that seems to be drawn by your attention. Just ambient noises, ambient creepy noises as you all crawl onto the deck and collect again.
Are there any other people on the ship? Or
No.
anything?
Nope,
It's just empty.
yeah.
Besides us.
Just empty besides you and Quenzel, Carnival, and Spectromere. Spectromere is actually she's doing her rounds and like taking care of just like making sure that ropes are tied, they're tight,
While she's
fastening.
While she's doing that, can I go up to Quenzel and ask him, like, you've been a pilot for quite some time, correct? Quenzel?
A very, very long time, yes.
So you know ships, correct?
You should know me well enough by now to know that I, of course, know all kinds of ships. I even know Lordamar vessels.
That's what I need to ask you about. Lordamar vessels. I think we discovered one back in Orenbelle.
You discovered a Lordamar ship in Orenbelle.
I'm not sure what it was called.
Grow.
Is it Was it Ballo? The Ballo was a beautiful something ship? I'm not sure actually. I can't remember.
Okay.
Ballo, ask Crow. He was the yes. He has
It's his now. He owns it.
He has mechanical memory.
Balokan the Beautiful, if I remember correctly, was a dragon-class vessel. Extremely powerful. How did you just come across it in Orenbelle?
It would seem that I inherited it.
Very good.
Can we trust him?
We can.
He's died for us many times, though he doesn't remember it.
Why would you say something like that?
What? It was a joke.
We would never try to sacrifice
We would never just kill you. That's all. We love
to
you.
a fire bear.
See, that's what I feel, but he said something different.
Fire bear.
Don't worry about it. You weren't dead in the past life.
So you're saying if I die, you can bring me back?
I was saying you've tried to sacrifice yourself for us many times, but we wouldn't let you. We were like, that's very noble of you, honorable. We'll face this together.
Roll a deception check.
Deception.
I would say his understanding should be at disadvantage because he was drunk.
17.
He's not drunk now.
He was drunk during the time of
Yeah,
which
but
was death,
None of that
so
happened.
he would never remember it.
17?
I swear to you. It was true. It was true.
Whatever these dreams are that you speak of are very curious to me, but it seems that you've proven your worth more than once. You have my trust still. I'm in good company. But you're saying if I die, you can bring me back.
Yes, you have to do your wind attack thing, though. Whatever that was you did last time. Bit of dream.
It seems you do know a bit more about me than I've shown. What is it that you need from this Lordamar vessel? Do you have a...
Show him the atlas. Show him the atlas.
Yeah, I kind of forget how this thing works. How is this thing embedded in it again?
It's not embedded in you. I think you have a compartment that you can keep it in that it actually, we'll just say, fits very well.
Your fridge.
But it is a
Purpose.
it looks like thousands upon thousands of mechanical pieces all fit together in an impossibly complicated mechanism. Gears are slowly ticking inside, sort of like light periodically will cross around one of the metallic strips on the outside. It always has this constant hum to it, but otherwise, outside of it conveying a message from Cumentus, you have no idea what the actual function is of it. Only what Cumentus has told you it should do, which is like it can host a power source.
Well, I'm gonna pull it out.
Ooh.
Right? Can't I?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pull it out very slowly and hold it out.
Ooh.
This here is what my master left for me.
Wow, that's
Believe it.
fancy. What does it do?
I believe it powers the ship of which we speak. But we seem to be missing the power cell.
Balokan is definitely a dragon-class Lordamar war vessel, but they don't run off of confusingly complicated orbs.
Well, then maybe you can tell me how this works.
Do you know of Cumentus, the great inventor?
I've heard whispers of Cumentus. Didn't build any airships, so I don't know too much about him.
Apparently he did.
Where
Or changed this one at least a bit to fit his designs.
So you're saying that you this powers it instead of the if I remember correctly, they would enslave our spirits and our elements and force them to power the ship. They would siphon their energy from them.
He said it runs off of an Atlas core.
And we need a few of them.
And it's what, void of energy right now?
It would seem so.
If the fundamental power structure of the Lordimar war vessel is the same, I would say that this is only a mechanism to, as you've told me, contain power.
Yes, that's what I said.
Yes, it's...
That's what he said.
Is it devoid of power now?
Yes. Otherwise, we would have flown here. Which we kind of did. But in the ship.
Yes. So we need to power that thing. We need to get some sort of energy into it. That's... You guys have any ideas? Spirits, deities, just willing and able to
spirits.
offer their power to?
Does it have to be willingly offer your power? Can we just lock the power in there forcibly?
We are emissaries of justice, Varkir.
I know, but there's one person we really want to lock her power in that. You may have never heard of her, Koltessa. If we could just lock some of her
I never
power.
heard of her.
She destroyed your ship.
Horrible person.
Don't say things like that. It bodes ill.
In another dimension,
It
yes,
happened.
in another life, she destroyed your ship.
Yeah.
So you should feel very, very angry about her.
Well, now I have an imaginary vendetta. But we're not likely going to find that power source in this forest.
Yeah, no. She ran away.
We wouldn't want any power source from this forest anyway. It would be too dark and nefarious for us to control.
What if I had a book from this forest that I could that has all of the Underdark in it? Would that power it?
How would I have that knowledge? You're the one who has the book.
True.
We could give it a try.
I just pilot things.
I'll ask somebody who knows engineering things.
You asked why we were here, Crow. When you all left, Vul, Spectromir, and myself, we stayed at Olodon's for a little while longer, decided to try and investigate and find out a little bit more about Ilfell. We separated. The flute that you have, Varkir.
This thing?
Yes, it's called a brood flute. It's something that Vul concocted ever since his run-in with the Unagoths. Said something about never letting something of that scale get the jump of him again. So that is actually from one of the wings of an Unagoth. And you can control them for a time should you blow into it.
Oh. Brute flute?
Brood flute.
Brood. Oh, brood. That was brute flute. Brood.
We need to go to Aquiaco.
For another time. I'll take you to Aquiago if you help us alleviate this forest of its dangers from Denebron.
Where is Vul by chance?
He should be in Bresh. We dropped him off there, and we needed to get a refill of helium. So we came here, and we ran into those copper-clad bastards.
Is he safe in Brush as it currently stands?
When last I spoke with him, he was safe, but keeping his distance, staying low, trying to find out what was going on. Bresh has changed, which I imagine you have found out yourself.
How are
Yes.
you able to get into the city?
I don't even try. What's going on here seems to be a bit more nefarious, so we focused our energy here first. If we can cut off this supply, it should be easier to enter Bresh. I know where Fabian Wild is, but there's a few different camps on the way to him that I'd like to take care of, providing the supply of helium and the Belbenu sac material.
We should take care of this before heading to Aquiago.
Whatever they're doing with those creatures is also of concern.
You know what that giant thing was?
I have no idea, but it's not the only creature that they've captured in this forest. It seems to be an objective of theirs, one I don't know why it exists.
So are there more of them in this
in this war somewhere.
I hope not, but I would guess so.
Varkir's going to be digging through his bag of holding for a little bit.
I also have to go to the bathroom, so we can take a short break now. Thank you for staying with us so far, SASANs. We'll see you immediately.
Legendary answer break.
3, 2.
Welcome.
Welcome back, SASANs. When last we left us 3 seconds ago, you know what happened, and I'm not going to insult you by recapping anything. So, everybody's sort of collected on the deck of Nohalis' eye, and Quenzel says to you all, I need your help, right? These people are evil! We can't let them have their way.
What?
We can't let them fulfill their plots.
What's so evil about Denebro?
You haven't seen what they do. They care not for life at all.
Do
And
you know who you're talking to?
I've got an idea, but you surround yourself with people who compensate for your, what you lack, which is any value for human life at all.
I see. I can create it, but I can't.
Speaking of which, I think that they have a bit of an issue with you in Bresh.
I took it up with some
like
guards.
You specifically.
I took it up with some guards that stopped me. I told them it wasn't my fault. It was all that one stable boy's fault, which we dealt with. We dealt with the stable boy. By the way, have you seen this knife? And I pull out that glowing green dagger that has the conscience in it.
Roll wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom. So 19. Yeah.
19 there.
Yeah, plus 8 to wisdom saving.
You're fine. You hear this. Hey, Vakir.
Shut up.
And just quiets out. Quenzel says, no, I haven't seen anything like that at all. Seems cool, though.
Don't touch it.
Did you hear that? Did you hear him? He's talking to it, but that didn't ring a bell.
You didn't hear it either.
I said nothing to anyone.
I didn't hear him saying, shut up.
Oh, yeah, you did, but you didn't hear the talking from the dagger.
This dagger is perfectly fine. It just glows. It's just a cool spectral trick. I put it away.
And Carnigal walks up at this point. He's been sort of like checking out the ship. He hasn't been on an airship in some time. And he goes, by the way, I wouldn't mention Lord Mar in front of anyone from Denebron. And he says, they were the first to get attacked in the Goddess War 50 years ago. They were utterly destroyed, decimated. Fire rained down on Denebron and Capilico and Orenbelle. Did not step in to provide any relief in time. Denebron has to have been rebuilt in that time. So they are not very kind to any word from Lord Mar.
So you're saying they have a grudge against Lodamar and they're resentful towards Orenbelle?
They're resentful towards most of the ruling races and kingdoms on Melibrius. They didn't have any sky fleet to combat Lord Mar, who sailed across the sea on clouds. Their entire sky navy decimated the city of Denebron.
Must have been easy pickings.
Which makes me wonder why one of their goals is to collect helium sacs in Belbenus skins.
Perhaps they
Seems
building
like
their own army.
Seems like they're trying to build their own ships like we're currently on.
And are we going to let that happen?
Think about it, Quenzel.
Probably, but we'll stop them.
We'll stop them is the right attitude, not probably.
No, they're probably gonna fly over. We'll
You could
kill
be the
them.
captain of 2 ships.
We have no idea where their armada is.
How
Helping.
a beautiful ship.
Can we rename Baloken into Nalhalis?
I would take
That
it up
is
with Kunbara.
completely up to Crow.
It would be Crow and Kunbara.
Nalhalis the Naughty.
You could pilot it with us, for us.
No.
I'm sorry.
We could use a pilot, though.
I must respect my master's wishes.
I understand that.
Though we may need a captain.
You know how does his eye fit on the ship?
Inside of it?
Just,
Will it?
what I know of Dragon class Lordamar vessels is there should be some space in the hangar for Nahalus's eye.
Will it? DM? Percept?
The
Intelligence?
you don't need to roll an intelligence check. The size and scale of Balakin the Beautiful was about 30 times what Nahalus's eye is.
Wow, okay. Dang.
The size and scale was like, it definitely had a hangar inside of it. That's where you guys took the dragonflies.
So small,
The dragonflyers. I failed as a DM to describe the breadth. It was like row
It
upon
seems
row
pretty big.
of cannons
Hmm.
and masts.
5 layers.
Yeah, it was a very massive ship. In
Maybe if we had like a map of it.
Dang. Well, we could park Nahalus's eye right inside the ship.
It's hard to see a map when there's so much salt on it.
Well, Crow, you have a map of inside of the ship, don't you? And your little hologram, whatever the thingy person gave to you.
Don't you have a
Oh,
map,
you do.
Spark, here?
I have a map of the world, not a map of the ship.
That is important.
I know that we're trying to, the Carnival speaks up at this point, I know that we're trying to find out more about Koltessa, but I think it is within Orenbelle's best interest if we stop Denebron from acquiring a navy.
Very true.
I mean, if anything, if we can get Denebron's entire nation on our side to fight Koltessa, this is turning into something way bigger than us.
Only if you let it.
I think
You're as
Denebron
big
may,
as you want to be.
Denebron may have some bad intentions for their fleet. I mean, you did say,
But like where it matters, not.
you said Orenbelle and Capilico
Right.
didn't send help in time to help them? So maybe they just want to repay the favor. You never know.
Denebron never quite took that very well. Lordamar is their seemingly first owner of their ire. Then the Golden Kingdom of Capilico and the Silver Kingdom of Orenbelle follow suit shortly after.
Well, they are across the sea. You know, that one enemy that you say they hate the most, so, you know.
A small feat for a flying vessel.
They can strike here first. Get rid of your enemies at home before you get rid of your enemies abroad.
Now look, that's what Quenzel says. We need to move. We do. Now we have some options. Fabian controls this. Oh, that's Karna Quenzel. Fabian controls much of the floating forest, though he's got 3 key camps. I would recommend we start from the camp that's mining helium and the Belbenu sacks. His camp is situated dead in the center. If we were to go straight for him, the rest of his forces would close us off and surely we'd be defeated.
Do you happen to know the amount of firepower people are at each camp?
Surprisingly, it's I haven't done enough reconnaissance to say whether or not, but their forces inside of the floating forest are smaller than you would guess.
Can you give me a ballpark? I mean, what does that give? Could you give me
What's a ballpark?
Could you give me an Orenbelle park?
I think with the help of the brood flute, we'd be able to take out a
That
camp.
wasn't my question. I'm just asking for a rough estimate of numbers. This is very important. I don't want to face an army, Quetzal.
Neither do I, but I can tell you that I don't know their specific numbers. I don't even know a ballpark. But the Unagoths give me confidence. Well, when they're on our side.
I want to ask, do you have any idea where the guiding lights are coming from? Like, how are they making these? What's their? How efficient are they? Like, how long do they last?
I don't know any of the answers to those questions. I only came in about a week ago, where Spectromir and I scouted out as much as we could before interfering and testing, really, the brood fruit. What you encountered was our first run with it.
So where's Wool, by the way?
Wool is around Bresh somewhere.
I'm gonna send it.
You gonna send him a message?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you sending him?
Hey, Wool. Where are you? Miss you.
XOXO.
Tell her check says yo.
Her check says yo. Hugs.
Well, Vark, here, you've gotten quite sentimental over the,
Those aren't my words.
Can't do that.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you want to waste another spell slot.
I just grit my teeth and just...
Where are you? Have you met up with Quenzel yet?
Crap.
Wait, before you do that.
I'm honestly in need of a little help in Bresh here. Something's going on that I think you started, Vark, here, and that's, I think, the end of what he can say.
What do you say? Okay.
He may need our help for something that happened in town. He wasn't specific on what happened in town, but something happened in town. He didn't fault anybody at it.
I can only guess what is
I
going
know
on
what
in
happened.
Bresh.
This
We don't have
crazy.
time to do that.
But we need. He said he may need help. So
He's gonna have to suck it up. Crow,
Quenzel,
Donkey, what are
do
your
you know what?
thoughts?
Maybe. Yeah.
Bresh, Quenzel.
Yes.
Are we trying to limit the destruction on these camps?
As far as I'm concerned, complete annihilation would, probably be the best route to go. At the very least, destroying their operation or any chance for them to continue harvesting.
And they're harvesting helium at these camps?
Yes. Helium and the Belbenu sacks.
It's pretty flammable.
I don't think it is. I googled it just to make sure, and it's
It's
not
not.
flammable.
What am I thinking of?
Helium?
Propane.
Helium is flammable.
I thought it was super flammable.
I will see about that.
What was the...
Yeah, I thought it was. I
The
thought
thing-
that's.
Yeah, the
balloon.
giant balloon, the
what's that?
Hindenburg.
Yeah, Hindenburg. I thought that was helium.
You should cut this part out.
I'm not going to cut this part out because
Oh, it's-
I'm.
It's hydrogen?
I thought it was helium.
How was helium? Thought the Hinden.
You're thinking of the helium, the hydrogen helium bomb.
Well, when you sucked it in, just...
The H bomb?
I'm on Google and it's like, for a better experience, turn on your location.
Hydrogen bomb location.
Shady mother effer.
Since your location is in California, the hydrogen bomb is
Helium is preferred as it is non-flammable.
Told you. A quick Google search
Gosh.
through my feather brain. Unfortunately, I don't think helium is flammable. I've tried. It would have blown up this entire forest if that were the case.
Helium is flammable.
It's not flammable. Yeah, it says, however, if we make too much noise, it always seems to aggravate the creatures of the floating forest and get their attention. We can travel through the air or we can travel on foot. I leave it up to you. Though the Nalholus's eye can always be quickly in tow if you let me man the helm and follow.
How many guiding lights do we have?
You have two. Crow brought one and Herchek brought one.
I tie it to. Is there any
And
already on the back?
Spectromir seems to have a method that just pushes away the fog. You've seen her use her hand. No, actually, you haven't, but you haven't either. Herchek and Thunky, you've seen Spectromir sort of like light her hand and shotgun blast light at Unagoths, which has been equally effective.
Can I tie the other one to the bow?
Yeah.
I do that very securely.
Let's ask.
Roll a
Taking my time.
roll.
No
what
rush.
What would it be?
Survival check?
No, is there anything along the lines of crafting or?
For this, it'd be I only consume
Survival,
tying
sleight of
as,
hand. Yeah,
or
do
like
survival.
dexterity.
Do survival.
Can I ask Cleanso if we can go and pick up some of
A
the
9.
bigger ones that are on the path? Maybe we can just use the ship and just we'll go down, grab it. Go down, grab it. Go down, grab it.
Not unless you want to garner the attention of them. They're constantly shipping.
That's fine as long as we don't leave them away.
Materials
As long
out.
as we don't leave them away to get out.
I think 2 would be enough.
Yes, I'm not sure you understand. The more time we spend disrupting them in areas that are not pivotal to their
Around the camp
operation. Oh, then of course, I think that's a wonderful idea. These guiding lights lead all the way to their camps. It will be very easy to find them.
So just get close to a camp, start picking them up a little bit, then attack it. And they won't be able to run away because they can't be
We'll do more planning.
I would prefer not to prioritize getting these guiding lights
No.
over attacking the camp first.
We're just taking a few of the lights on the path and then
No.
attack it.
Fuck here, we're just gonna go to the camp.
Then they could easily
You
escape.
may tip
When we're
them.
at the camp, we'll take them after we kill them.
You may tip them off to our arrival first, in which case a heavily fortified camp would be worse to deal with than an escaping enemy.
I have an idea.
Grow.
I'm all ears.
Maybe we get close to one of the camps and then watch until they take when they've gotten enough. What are they called? Dalbanus sacks, and then they're off back to brush, and then their forces will be lesser, and we attack the camp, and then we catch up with that supply route and attack them as well.
That's more time though.
I do.
How about a time
I
crunch?
do like that.
But that's more time. You just said we were doing low on time.
Are we?
I would say if we could get more enemies away from where we are attacking, and then tag 2 places, that would be the best kind of plan.
Attack 2
Fabian
places, less
is
people.
working on something larger than the creatures and larger than the helium sacks. I think we are short on time. How short, I'm not sure at this moment. But
We could wait a reasonable amount of time, and if it, I don't know, if they don't leave within the day, then we attack at night.
We could attack at night from the air. I could cast a water spell.
I could
and
just
lightning.
drop down and fire.
If we're waiting till night, then what's the time limit?
so there is what you know of the floating forest is there's really no day-night. It's like constantly veiled in this bizarre, like almost like moonlit amount of light, but the fog just conceals and veils most everything.
Well, we
The
should
only
move
option
to the
you're-
first camp.
The only option you're giving is to just flat out attack and start.
Well, we should definitely plan it out, but we should be moving to the first camp. That seems to be first priority. First to the camp. I need a rest. I don't know about you. I'm pretty hurt. Last battle.
That's well, you know my accommodations, at least briefly.
Destroyed? Yeah, quite soon.
Yeah, destroyed. So are you retiring for the night? Or for the amount of time for a long rest? Whenever it may be in the day?
So is the fog still? Is it below the ship or is fog like?
The ship is in the dead center of the fog. It's everywhere. There's no patch of like the portion of the ship 15 feet away from you is always going to be veiled.
So if we like put the guiding lights on portions of the ship where they like.
I get that.
He already. What'd you roll for your?
A 9.
Seems okay for now.
Can I go and double check those lights?
We'll say roll a perception check.
2. Nope.
No. Yeah. You see you just like turn around, you see that her check fastened one to one side. You've got enough faith in her check that he can do a good job. Even though the light sort of like dips slightly, and shifts briefly before you look away.
What are you trying to do?
It's probably just the
I can help you out.
No, we're just gonna see if the lights were securely fastened to the ship and
Then
if
you
they're
have the other one?
proper
No,
places.
I didn't pick one up.
I have one.
Grove, you want to tie that to the back of the ship?
Wouldn't we then be a target? Could they not see us if we fastened it on the
That
other
is a
side?
fair point.
I'll go take the other one down. That's good.
I'm just saying, like, putting it on the deck of the ship, the top of the ship, like, here's the ship right here, here's the lights right here, and here's, like, where we are all in the ship.
The flying creatures, the flying masters of the floating forest, appear to be the Unagoth. If we have a method of controlling them, I think that they are the least of our worries in the air.
I just don't want to be breathing in this, just the smoke. While I
If
sleep.
we decide to move via ground transportation, then we may need to think to bring some of the lights, at least concealed initially.
I'll put this in storage.
Just in the... And
How many,
Find a storage box. Found a container. It's gotta be
Put
containers.
it in the
how
barrel
many
water.
of these Unagoths can we control with the flute?
seems to be about 3 at a time. Funky. You seem to have gained some ability in the time that we've been apart. I'm sorry to have controlled you for a brief moment, but it's just felt so good. Huh? We can give the flute to somebody that you trust if you decide to turn into an Unagoth again. I would, if anything, as a concealing method, maybe take the form of an Unagoth as we travel, if we decide to go through the air.
Well, I like this idea of using Unagoths. Let's grab them up.
And you, Varkir, you notice that the flute that you have is brittle at this point. Quenzel reveals 3 more that he has that are pristine.
He's mending on it.
You use mending, and it seals a lot of the cracks and sort of like the powdery bone that's falling from it. But it doesn't seem like it's not emanating the same sort of energy that the others are.
So
Let's put it in the bag of
That
holding.
one probably has maybe one more blow in it.
Put it in the bag of holding.
So one flute can control 3 Unagoths.
That's what it seems like.
Oh,
Again,
yeah.
we've only put it to the test once, but from what Vool told us, it seems to line up.
Is there any weaponry on the ship? Like, can we attack?
I've got one, what would you call it? Grappling ballista. The front of the ship.
Harpoon.
Thank you. Harpoon. Yeah, that's it. Harpoon. Reverse time. I've got one harpoon at the front of the ship.
Oh, it's not actually that useful.
We can untie the rope and we'll have a few different powerful metal objects that we can fling at oncoming enemies, unsuspecting victims.
It seems if they haven't been shot down yet. They should be good.
I think we should get a fleet of our own Unagoths and then attack these camps.
The only problem is it seems that the brood flutes don't last very long. The more you blow into them, the more they crack. They're very brittle.
How long would you say that Unagoths are under your control?
Nah, if I were to do a rough estimate, it'd be carry the 2, flip the W, and about 18 seconds.
We shouldn't rely on Unagoths for this battle at all, unless we want to fight Unagoths.
Are you serious?
Unfortunately, that's yes, it's the about 3 rounds that you have the ability to control Unagoths.
So maybe we can make a lot of noise when we get there. Unagoths will show up.
Well, the whistle, the brood fruit will bring the Unagoths. That's for sure. We don't need to do any extra activities to bring them around before we can control them. That's just dangerous. The more noise we create, the more you're going to get outsiders. Well, by outsiders, I mean creatures of the floating forest. So,
well, if we're going to take on this camp, it should be like Unagoths first, and then that includes Thunky as probably an Unagoth later, so she's not under the control. And then us, melee types, 2 sneak in, 2 brute force in.
Hey, I'm just the captain of the ship. You're the muscle here.
Yeah, you could bring in 3 Unagoths, and then after that, I'll transform into a food.
Maybe we should just do 2 Unagoths for 1 camp. And then...
I'm not sure the flute has that level of control built into it.
Okay.
What do I do? Like left C, right C, down C, up C, left, right, up.
Anything you want.
Song of Storms.
Maybe the melee folk can sneak into the camp while the airship hovers above, and then when we melee folk hear the Unagoths approach, we will know that's the sign. And then we wait for the Unagoths to start attacking the camp, and we will do the same.
I should refrain from stealthing. I'm not that quite stealthy, but I have an idea. If you want to roll with it. So, okay, the anchor comes down off the ship, right? I'm hanging off the anchor above the camp. You guys sneak in before you go in. Unagoths go in, I go in. Drop down, meteor, a fireball. You guys go in. Tons of chaos.
Do you even have to be on the anchor for that, or could you just fireball from the sky?
No, I have to actually come down. I have to touch people with it.
Wow.
I can't just cast it. It's not a fireball. It's like
I think you have to expose our best asset.
No, can't do that.
Midair, you just let it go to control yourself. Remember?
Yeah, but that was a blast. It wasn't a fireball. I can't cast it.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, I think that exposing the airship to these camps, and they are known to have long-range attacks. I think that's a bad idea. Unless you're out of range from their weaponry, but they are still within range of yours. That's a good idea.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that don't work out too well. Yeah, we'll not do that.
Maybe we'll know the best approach when we see the camp.
You're talking hypotheticals, Quenzel?
I like being high. What can I say?
Empathetic.
In the sky. Did you say empathetic?
Empathetic.
Empathetic? Thank you. I never knew you to be this vicious. You've changed too.
So who else is sneaky?
I'm
That could be...
Stunky? Stunky?
Stunky.
Stinky.
I can be stealthy sometimes.
Stinky can be stealthy.
That is one of my strong suits.
Sleeping on a mushroom.
But I'll never put myself in enough danger to not get out of.
I wouldn't
To my own
count
discretion.
on him to stay after the fight.
He could go into stealth, but he might just stay.
Yeah, it might just stay stealth. He might pop out and then dip out.
Okay, well, eventually you're going to want to get back on the airship. So, you can manage that.
Of course, I can get back to the airship. without any of you, but, you know.
Okay, well then.
Don't worry about us, Carnival. Whatever. Do you? Like
You're not worrying about me. Why should I reciprocate?
We never worry about you.
You seem like
Thank you.
you shouldn't have to worry about you. Anyway,
We have Spectre.
you and I will stealth that.
So we're good.
With Funky.
By the way, Fabian even seemed to land a blow on Spectromere.
Really? I looked
yeah.
at Spectromere questionably.
She looks at you and gives you this. I wouldn't underestimate him look. Like, yeah, he's not to be trifled with or taken lightly.
Is that why your face got messed up? Is that the fight?
She looks at you and actually her eyes, even when thinking of Fabian, get more serious, and she just shakes her head no.
Is that from Koltessa then?
So,
As soon as you
let's talk about it. Let's
mention
finish the
Koltessa, Spectromere just, with both of her longswords, her hands on her longswords, just lifts them up and looks at you with a knowing look
Yes.
and says, or she doesn't say anything, but she, no. Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. So
She will taste your brains, yes.
we stealth in. Well, we get to the camp, and it's general outside range of their attacks, and hopefully far enough away that we are still remain unseen. We stealthy folk drop down, sneak into the vicinity, even closer. Oh!
Your camera just moved. Your camera just got knocked down.
Didn't move too much though.
And then I think you guys on the airship need to start floating away when we got some moon.
Are you kidding me? What just happened?
It hasn't been recorded?
What the fuck?
What happened?
Oh, why? What happened? I pressed
Did
record.
it not record the sound?
Am I out of space?
Very well possible.
Max, you need a dedicated computer.
No, there's 32 gigabytes, or 33, there were almost 34 gigabytes left.
Is it just the
Left on the
second half
computer?
or the first half?
Wait, did it just happen or did it happen?
It did not just happen.
Was it the second half after we came back?
Seems as though we weren't recording.
I think it's the whole time.
The whole time?
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Fuck.
Well, we didn't do anything, so that's good.
A lot of information was covered. It's recording now. And some of this audio is very kind of okay to use, but like kind of shouldn't be used. But it's.
But wait, our microphones are not being picked up right now.
No, they never
So this
were.
tube shit that I'm doing.
I'll just spend an exorbitant amount of time watching the footage and
Subtitling?
putting sound effects whenever you lift the dumbass tube up to your mouth.
I'm confused.
Hello. I don't know what I was saying.
I'll do his
I don't know. I pressed it at this fucking same time that you guys.
You know what would help in this situation?
You took her
Is the
spot.
monitoring.
Why you take her spot?
It's okay.
I'm not going to do one.
You can just put a monitor right there that shows that recording, the levels.
The monitor would be picked up.
I
by
can
the-
move his
anyway.
bed
Anyway.
here.
We're still going to use this footage. Yeah. We're going to have to.
Hey, welcome back to that good sound, SASANs.
Welcome back to the sound
Just to see you.
generally.
He's right next to the camera.
Oh yeah.
Yep, it'll be great. It'll be great. Okay. Where were we? My mind is infuriated
All
and
right.
destroyed.
Battle plans. We killed all the camps.
It's working now. It's recording now.
Oh wow.
What are you doing?
Sorry, I was trying to like position it so that it would go out this
Into your
That's
ear.
Right in your ear.
into my ear.
Into the ear.
Hear me now.
Is this like the 60s or 70s for telephones?
Okay. What is your battle plan?
You're not supposed
Wait.
to know it.
Enemy.
Yeah, you metagamer.
We take this airship. We go to the first camp, not the central one.
Start an orgy.
We go into the general vicinity until we can just see the light from their camp. The sneaky folk drop down, sneak closer to the camp, while the others, the airship gets probably hovers above until.
And who are the sneaky ones?
I just thought of something.
What?
There are going to be a lot of animals, creatures surrounding these camps because of the activity.
Yeah, we'll be stealth.
I can cast pass without traces.
We have to remain the
We're
distance
sneaky.
in. All right. If things go awry, just yell
We should
out foul.
practice our hand signals tonight.
Safety word is Belbanus on the Roos. Right?
Belwedus on the roofs.
It's a safety word, singular.
Yeah.
So we stealth up. Airship gets closer, probably hovers above the camp. Lets off the flute. Wait till some of those things that I remember the name of, Unagoths, fly above the sky. You guys take control of them, attack the camp, and then we'll probably Thunky's signal to turn into a Unagoth and join in the fun. And we unleash sneaky hell from the ground. And I think that now we just need a plan to pick us up.
Well, if the camp's destroyed, we can just have Quetzal come back in nice and gingerly.
Okay. We'll keep an eye on this guy. And maybe if you're ready to pick us up, just drop down to a distance where we can see you.
If things go wrong, fallback plan.
Should I turn us into clouds? Fallback plan for a signal? And then we...
I would recommend not
Fly.
turning into the clouds anywhere close to the camp unless we're sure that we're out of sight, out of perception. It takes a minute to get in and out of that.
And they do have the arrows that turn us back immediately.
Yeah, I would say we just kind of run north. There's no really identifying areas.
You guys are in a more just according to where. Actually, no. Quenzel would have taken you. It would have been hard to tell, but you can roll like a intelligence check to see if you understand where you are, based off of the journey that you've had. You started in a very much more southern part of the forest.
I could throw down one of those lights, kind of as like a beacon. It'll be all by itself.
What is it?
The lantern.
No, what is this one?
Fallback plan, in case camp gets fucked. To where we can all meet up and not just scatter into this demon forest.
I mean, we have to get on that airship. So I think the fallback plan is to fly low, release ropes, and hope we get on there. And otherwise, if that doesn't work, then...
What? You wanna... What? Where is the ship going to be? Where are we going to be?
Trying to meet back up with the ship.
That doesn't mean anything. Where is the ship going to
In
be?
the general vicinity of the camp. We should be able to see it.
Quetzal, is there any noise you can make to signal where you were going to be?
I could play the flute.
You should not play the flute to call more Unagoths. Anything else, Quetzal?
I can sing.
You can whistle
to you.
You can whistle. You can whistle like you did before.
All right, I'll whistle.
Okay.
We'll have Spectromere call out to you.
Ooh.
Alright, I think we've got a semblance of a plan.
Can't the rings also help us?
One of us.
Yeah, one. So we'll take most 3 days to be regrouped. It's a long time, but hey, that's worst case scenario. But there's still a way to get back. Just have to wait. If we can survive a day by ourselves or being separated, then teleport.
It's about 6 days left.
2,
Almost 5 days.
5.
It's a week in between, and Parker used it.
That's just once a day.
No. So the beckoning connection is not available to you at this point.
Well, we got a decent plan.
I like the,
And we'll figure it out as we
first
go.
plan. The airship hovers nearby. The sneaky group goes on the ground floor and scouts out the area. When the sneaky group gives the sign, what is the sign? For the Unagoths to go.
No. Airship. The sign is you using the flute until Unagoths arrive, and then you control them. And then you attack the camp.
I'm not controlling any Unagoths. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be a part of the sneaky group. But I'm trying to say, when does the sneaky group, or when does the airship know to release the Unagoths? As far as I can tell, Herchek and Varkir and Spectromir and Quenzel will be on the ship. When do they know to attack?
I imagine we will move into the vicinity of the camp relatively quickly. Just get into place, and we should be in the area.
But how do we know when to do
Would you be
Just
able to see us
as
from
soon
the
as
ship and
you're-
go down on the ground?
I can't see 15 feet in front of
Because,
me.
yeah, we can't see past our hands, basically.
I think as soon as we start hearing, oh shit, get the bed, we're dying, then we go in.
Alright, there's a lot that won't be revealed until we actually see this camp. I think scouting the camp should come first and foremost.
So for the sneaky group, let's just remember which direction the light is in. When we're dropping down, don't get disoriented. You see what I mean? When we're on the ship, we'll see the light.
Yeah.
Then we'll drop down and just keep that direction in mind. We'll head there. As soon as we start to hear or see people, we wait for Unagoths. After the airship drops us off, you hover up and above, and you start playing the flute. We should be in place by then.
Sure, lots of shoulds. I don't like shoulds, but I'm following your lead, so our life is in your hands. What can I say?
What if I were to cast a moonbeam in the center of their camp, and that's kind of like a torch thing?
I like that. That will
That
see.
is a good sim.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Does it do damage too?
It does, so they would definitely know we're there.
Yeah, I would say on Moonbeam, we all go. Or just sneaky people. And then we go on Unagoths first. Unagoths on Moonbeam.
And then I change it to
Then you change. As you change, we'll ride you down. Kill. As soon as you see us on the Unagoth, that'll be your time to shine. Sneaky group.
Alright,
So
I
I
think we
think I
have a plan.
Counted for is after we lose control of the Unagoths.
19 seconds.
I think at the end of the third round, we should tell them to leave.
After my third move.
Yeah.
Strategically thinking though.
After you
Strategically.
attack
Very
for the
strategically.
third time with the Unagoths, maybe tell them to fly as far away as they can.
Or did they just completely kill
Eat
anything?
themselves.
Here's the thing though, there are several camps. The central camp seeming the largest. So maybe, do you think we could, back here, send us a message?
I can't send a message right now at all.
No, we're gonna rest. We're gonna rest. But It might just be a waste, since we don't know the size of their camp. Using Unagats. We could...
I can't send a message to somebody I don't know in a camp. So
No, to one of us. We'll let you know
be in a camp.
Yeah. We'll scout the camp out and let you know if it's even worth using the flute to...
Wouldn't it just be easier for you to go scout the camp and then come right back?
To do what?
To scout the camp and come back?
Come.
Because we're going to have to regroup anyways.
Yeah, we could do stealth recon and make our way back to the ship.
God, that's such... Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably an extra preparedness we should probably take.
Well, if we don't come back to the ship, then...
I think it's going to be pretty easy with the Unagats. They are pretty powerful.
Right, but we only have so many flutes, and
Can't be too prepared, but
we have to
3
use some-
camps, 2.5 flutes.
Well, there's a-
I said he had 3 fruits in his bucket though.
Including one you have.
Oh, that was separate.
no, I think
and one flute can control 3 Unagats. So use the flute.
3 flutes! 3.5 flutes!
Remember, if there's only 3 Unagats that show up, you only use 1 flute. Don't blow all the flutes at once.
We're only going to be blowing 1 fruit anyways.
What if 8 Unagats show up?
It should only summon as many as it could, I thought.
No. Well,
As
he
long as
didn't
it's
say that
it's gonna be
Look,
a lot.
there's a lot of unknowns. Let's just scout the camp first, and then we'll fucking come up with the plan.
Okay,
I think Cloudtail is trying to tell us something.
let's go then.
Sounds like
How many
Carnival to me.
Crow, who brought this guy in here?
What do you
So,
mean?
what was your plan?
You just asked Crow who brought Crow in here.
Well, who brought Crow? Yeah. Crow, how did you get here?
You're right. I'll just take my.
Carnival is the one I said.
Okay.
Again, don't listen to Carnival.
We can go now.
Think we sleep, and then in the morning, we attack. Whatever the morning is.
Whatever more
We
it
ride.
is.
We execute this flawlessly thought of plan,
Orenbelle.
and everything will go according to plan,
Ish.
as it always does.
Ish. Who's helping her?
I head to my quarters.
And Quenzel and Spectrum here show you guys around the ship.
We've been here before, Quenzel. We've been here for quite some time, actually.
You keep saying things like this.
It's like, right here, remember Varkir, he fell out, and then the ship split.
I remember right here, we
just like grabs it. Oh!
I remember right here. You should remember this too, Quenzel.
No, stop it! I can't bear to hear anymore.
My God!
Don't listen, no,
my
Aldous'
guardian.
eye.
My
They don't
guardian
know what
was
they
there
say.
while that one Cleopatra chick was chasing us off the pier at Bresh. We ran
Now
away.
that I remember.
Yeah.
Well, I killed Cleopatra.
That was good. Yeah,
We
he
all
killed her.
did. I chopped her head off.
She was a humble servant of Bresh. Why would you do that?
She
She
attacked
tried
us.
to kill us. What would you do?
Killing doesn't seem like it.
Well, she
Again,
tried
this is a
to
monster.
capture us to kill us with somebody else, I guess.
I pull out her head and like, see? Put it back in my bag.
We don't know who's behind
That's
it. still.
grotesque. I'm going to bed.
We don't know who's behind it though. Do you know anybody who? Well, never mind. So that's a wide range of people who have ill will against us, Bresh. So never mind.
Quite a
You.
bit.
Varkir, just you.
No. Oren's Obliterate.
Varkir. Anyways, bed,
Doesn't exist.
sleeping. I close my door.
There is
Scratch
no
her
door
like
for
this.
you. It's not like individual quarters for everybody.
Oh, you closed the door now.
There's like a bottom of the ship and a top of the ship.
I
Close
knock
the
on
door.
Pinky's pocket. Pinky, let me start going.
Now you didn't know. It gets tighter.
Trying to sneak out and sleep right there. That's what you do.
And
I have one right here.
Quenzel goes to sleep. Spectromir stays up, patrols the ship. Carnival stays up for a little while longer.
Are we doing?
Yeah, I'll go open a couple
Are we
houses.
doing night watches?
Huh?
I'm gonna go to the crow's nest.
Of course.
Are we doing night watches?
It's up to you guys. Are you doing night watches?
I will go first.
I will be on guard all night. I'll wake anybody if there's any issues.
Okay. And so, Oren's Obliterate, in Quenzel and Carnagal and Spectromere go to sleep for the night.
Good night, Moon.
To wake up to take on the Denebron army inside of the floating forest. Thank you for watching, SASAns. We'll pick up there next time. What will happen after such an amount of time of planning? Surely all of their expectations will be pulled off and executed flawlessly. But find out next time on SASAns and Dragons. As always, SASAns, until fate next brings us together, and never stop playing role-playing games.